Welcome to another edition of the WIU Football Coaches Show alongside the head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Bob Nielsen. I'm Danny Fry. The Fighting Leathernecks traveled to the intense environment of the Fargo Dome, really one of a kind, last Saturday coming out with a loss. Coach, how much of a factor was the home crowd in setting the tone of the ballgame?
Well, they do a great job. They pack that place, very unfriendly environment for a visiting team. I wish I could say that it was more of a factor than what it was, but unfortunately we didn't play well against a very good team, and when that happens, it's a poor result, and that's what happened on Saturday.
Now let's take a look at the first half highlights from that game on last Saturday against North Dakota State. Second dome game of the year. You touched on it a little bit, Coach. Anything the team do to prepare for that noise level? I know it's a small factor of the game. Anything you guys did before?
Well, we practiced with loud music, just to ensure that our communication was good, and I don't think we had one little issue early, but it was their play more than the crowd that impacted us.
And this play, Sports Center top 10 play, Easton Stick, the backup quarterback, lobs up to Zach Vraw over the back of Riggs Baxter, an amazing 41-yard touchdown catch, and really not much that the freshman Baxter could do on that play.
No, great play by them. Their coach said to me after the game that they probably played as good a game as they played all year, and plays like that happen early in the year or early in the game really give you a high level of confidence and emotion.
Next drive for North Dakota State, though, on third down. Good job for the Leathernecks to rebound. Good coverage. Pass incomplete. It seems like Aaron Diggs is always there to make sure that pass isn't complete.
Yeah, good play here, breaking up the ball. The ball was thrown really on the money. We had to make a good defensive play to knock it away, and forced them to punt the football. And at that time, felt like we might get a little momentum going.
Yeah, but then on the next drive, North Dakota State on Trent Norvell, intercepted by Pierre G. Tucker, takes it 36 yards for the pick six, and a pretty good read by him.
Yeah, bad decision by Trent. It was a route that was designed to go against man coverage. He threw it into his own look and threw it really right to the defender, and those are kind of plays that in a tough place to play where every point's going to be important that you can't make.
Yeah, not a whole lot of places they shoot off a firework every time they score, but then North Dakota State, with all that momentum, come back on Leathernecks' next drive, pass complete to Lance Lenore, ball ripped out by C.J. Smith, recovered by the Bison, and thought maybe that play was over, but C.J. Smith didn't give up.
No, I thought the play could have been blown dead as well. Certainly Lance's forward momentum was stopped, and back-to-back turnovers, and resulted in all of a sudden now we're down 17 points early in the first quarter, and I know our young guys lost a lot of confidence there, and against a team like North Dakota State, who's a very difficult team to come back against.
After the first quarter, 17-0, as you mentioned. First play of the second quarter, play action roll-up by Stick finds R.J. Urzendowski in the back of the end zone. Stick pretty good on the run on Saturday.
He did a good job. Obviously playing with a lot more confidence now in his third start and getting back home. And we had a couple of issues coverage-wise here with all the different shifts and formations that they ran, getting us out of rotation, and he took advantage of that a couple of times with big plays.
And Norvell's saying that he can go on the run too. Keeps this drive going, completing a pass on third down to Lance Lenore. NDSU did a good job blanking receivers really all day, and then good blitz by the Bison. Ball pops loose from Norvell as he's on the run. He lands back on it though, and they came around his blind side, Coach.
Just didn't do a good job protecting the quarterback. We were in too many situations where they knew we were going to throw the football, and did a good job of mixing their coverages and pressures, and didn't ever let us get comfortable in the pocket.
At times, WIU did a good job of plugging the gap. Brett Taylor with the tackle right there on King Frazier, but NDSU would keep moving the ball. Play action again to Andrew Bonnet, who dives towards the corner and scores. 31-0 NDSU at that point. 4:02 left in the second quarter, and a good job executing the play fake again.
Yep, when you can run the football, play action pass is a tremendous weapon, and they were able to run the football all day with enough consistency that play action opportunities opened up for them.
We'll talk about the offensive line a little later. Norvell sacked again. Bison kept bringing pressure from the outside all half. Towards the end of the first half, stick over the top to Darius Shepard, 38-0 at that point, their last score of the half, and he was open over the middle. They really had so many quick options.
Yeah, this is a pretty disappointing play. I mean, they're in a 2-minute situation where we don't really care if they run the football. Our guys react very poorly to a run fake and give up an easy one. And there were too many of those kinds of plays on the day where we just made it too easy for them to score, and you can't do that against a really good team.
Western trying to answer before the end of the half, screen to Stacy Smith Jr. and then pass over the middle. The final seconds to Lance Lenore. If there were more guys downfield, could have had a chance to make something happen. Instead, it's really just a stat stuffer at the end of the half. And good try there from Lance to try and make something happen.
Yeah, they're playing real soft coverage, throw the ball underneath, like you say, kind of meaningless yards at the end of the half when it's the last play of the game. But, and something that we could build on, hopefully some confidence in the second half.
Yeah, and then talk about those back-to-back turnovers. Really, what did that have on your team's confidence, especially early on there in the first quarter?
It was big. Going into the game, we knew two things. Number one is we had to control the football offensively to a certain degree. We had to move the football. We had to be able to gather first downs. We had to be able to put some points on the board. They were too good offensively to let them be on the field the whole time, and we just didn't do that in the first half. The turnovers were a part of that. We didn't convert third downs. And so as a result, we got ourselves behind, and they are just a very difficult team to play when you're behind.
Without a doubt, the 4-time defending national champions. All right, stay tuned for the second half highlights next. You're watching WIU Football Coaches Show, your home for Fighting Leatherneck football.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
Music has always been my thing. I not only get to play it, but I also have opportunities to learn from award-winning guest musicians. My professors offer me the personal attention I was looking for in a music program and challenge me to reach my fullest potential. I know my experience at Western is just the beginning of my success story. Think purple. Think success. Think Western Illinois University.
I'm Matt Tanny, Western Illinois University Interim Director of Athletics. Please stay connected with us by following Western Illinois Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You will have access to exclusive stories and updates while receiving the latest details on special giveaways. For additional information on our 20 Division I programs, visit goleathernecks.com. And remember, there's only one Leatherneck Athletics.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm Danny Fry alongside Leatherneck head football coach Bob Nielsen. Down 38-0 at half. Team isn't used to something like that. What was the message? Kind of just to the effect of keep plugging away?
No, the message was honestly to see what we're made out of. We played poorly. They took advantage of a lot of things in the first half. It wasn't a matter at that point of winning or losing the football game. It was really testing our character to see how we were going to respond and how hard we'd play in the second half.
And now the second half highlights. Take a look from the Fargo Dome after Western's first drive. North Dakota State, methodical 5+ minute drive, taking some time off, 8:30 left in the third quarter. Touchdown run up close by King Frazier, and he had a little bit of a gap. Good blocking up the middle by NDSU.
Yeah, they've got a very good offensive line. Started to take advantage of some of the things that we were doing defensively, and the fact that our guys, didn't compete like we did from the very beginning.
Devin Moore with a burst up the middle, and his one first carries of the game. And this WIU drive would stall out, though. Why couldn't you maybe work something out consistently running the football?
I'll give credit to their defense, but again, we really struggled with any kind of consistency blocking them up front. And as a result, our drives were very inconsistent. They put pressure on the quarterback all day, and we didn't do a good job of getting the ball to open people.
There's a sideline completion to Jalen Ackland to the 40. That sets up this 40-yard touchdown strike to Lance Lenore with 4:22 left in the third quarter, 45-7 NDSU at that point. And that was a good throw and a good catch to finally break through, Coach.
Yep, put some points on the board and showed a little bit of character there, putting a short drive together, and obviously some things we've got to do differently offensively as we go into these last 2 weeks, because the last 2 weeks have been very poor performances for us.
Yeah, offensively, just trying to find a little bit of consistency helps when you go down the field to Lenore. Lance Dunn in at running back for NDSU in his first carries, and he's absolutely stuffed by the D-line. And then Dunn up the middle again. North Dakota State would keep drives going throughout the day. 2-yard touchdown plunge up the middle by Lance Dunn, and NDSU commanding 11:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. Then the next NDSU drive again turned to Lance Dunn, moving it down the field. Dunn going around the edge, and he's pretty quick around that left edge.
Yeah, good player. Got a lot of depth. You would expect a team that's won 4 national championships in a row to have the kind of depth. We were not a good match physically, quite frankly. And some of that is the number of injuries we've had on defense and some of the youth that had to play, but doesn't excuse the fact that we can play harder, and we've got to play harder.
NDSU would keep running out the clock, and now look at the final box score, 59-7, the final in favor of North Dakota State, moving to 7-2 as they're trying to get a bye week in the first week of the playoffs, so they still got a lot to play for. Easton Stick, solid. He was the player of the game inside the stadium, 12 of 20, 197 yards, 4 touchdowns. And look at the WIU side, Trenton Norvell, a little better from the Youngstown State game, did have the pick 6. Lance Lenore, 5 receptions, 96 yards, and that touchdown. Riggs Baxter, the freshman, good game from him, 13 tackles to go along with Brett Taylor up the middle. And Coach, you look at Trenton Norvell's stat line, what will he work on to improve this week, really after trying to building blocks after a great kind of slow start to the year, then a good middle, and then now he's falling back a little bit, Coach?
Well, part of that is we didn't have the football. I think we only ran 40, 47, 49 offensive plays. It's hard to get anything going consistently when you can't run the football. When we run the football, we're better throwing it. And right now, over the last 2 weeks, we've been very, very poor at running the football, and as a result, we've had to put the ball in his hands too much. And he can play better than he did Saturday. At the same time, we've got to do more to help him.
Yeah, having that balanced offensive attack for sure. And how important was it to try and take the crowd out of it early? Instead, you guys a couple of those turnovers, and they really erupted in the first quarter. Yeah,
the momentum piece was a critical component to that game. They make that tremendous play for the first touchdown when we had them off schedule in that drive. And then follow that with 2 consecutive turnovers that either result directly in a score or give them tremendous field position for a score. And suddenly we're down 17-0 before we really had a chance to play much offense. And that's not the way we needed to start that game to be in it at the end.
And then when the Leathernecks did score the touchdown pass to Lance Lenore, really, what was the difference on that pass compared to other plays where it seemed like either Trenton overthrew the football or it's just blanket coverage?
Well, he had time to throw it. Too many times we were forced either to throw the ball before the route broke, or also the coverage and the pressure got to the quarterback, and so that one we had time, and he was able to make a good read and get the ball to the right person.
Anything else that really the NDSU did that really stood out other than really playing a complete football game?
Well, I think they were well prepared. We talked about the game last year, and people I think came to our place last year and kind of overlooked us a little bit, and we were able to sneak up and surprise some people. Well, that wasn't the case this year. They're well prepared for us. I think as coaches, we didn't do as good a job as we need to be able to make some adjustments. They did some things defensively, played us a little bit more man coverage and pressured us a little bit more than what we expected.
And there will be more on the way next. You're dialed in to the WIU Football Coaches Show.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level at NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
I always knew I would be a leatherneck. Western was the only university I applied to. The educational opportunities at Western provided me experiences and lessons in leadership and service. The faculty and staff at Western genuinely care about the students, and I know that choosing WIU is key to the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back. I'm Danny Fry, your host. Football is a game won down in the trenches, and the Leatherneck offensive line dominated the first half of the season and are now trying to settle back into a rhythm for Saturday.
I think we're definitely a younger team that it was moving along, hit a couple bumps in the road. We got to get our confidence back, get our swagger. We've had some injuries, so some of those guys that we've been really confident with aren't in there every snap. And so it's forced some other guys to kind of step up and play, and our mojo's there. Definitely the chemistry's solid, and we're looking forward to this week. Can't just get that taste out of our mouth.
I feel like, at the beginning of the year we had a lot of younger guys, and now I can say that we're experienced. We've had a lot of playing time, especially my redshirt sophomore class. We're getting a lot more playing time, and we'll see. We're going to see it here in the next couple of games.
What we do is what we do. We do our base plays no matter who's in there. It's just we've had a lot of injuries, a lot of guys get banged up throughout the year, so that's kind of changed a lot of what we've done, like personnel-wise. But, schematically, we don't do much different. We still do what we do up front no matter who's in there. So we're going to just keep running our base plays no matter what we do.
Torgerson made the switch from tackle to guard, a tough challenge that he's more than willing to handle.
It's actually a lot different than I thought it'd be. Out of tackle, I'm used to going against speed guys, and everything's so far away. It happens a lot, slower because there's more space. But now, when I got moved down to guard this fall camp, everything was a lot closer. The guys are a lot heavier, stronger. So I had to change a lot of my technique, especially in pass pro, because the guys out there, you're not trying to get speed rush, you're trying to get bull rush by these big guys. So I had to really fix my technique in a lot of areas.
He's another really smart guy. Our offensive line, we're very fortunate, got guys that like the game of football. They're great students of the game. And, Torgy can play all 5 positions. He's a third center for us. So he really is a multi-purpose guy, and they figured out the more I know, the better chance I have to play.
Last week, Judd was named Academic All-District, an honor to go with his MVFC Offensive Lineman of the Week award.
Huge honor. I focus a lot on school, and I try my hardest in class, and it's awesome to be recognized like that, so I appreciate it. The big thing then was we hadn't given up a sack yet in conference, and it was going pretty well for us, and it was a big surprise for me, and I really appreciated it.
Judd, any accolades he gets, he earns, and he's an old-fashioned blue-collar guy, which is really fun to coach. He doesn't say much, doesn't ask for a whole lot, but he shows up to work every day, and he's going to just have a great career the next couple of years.
Due to injuries, changes have been made to the offensive line, and the Leathernecks will try to gel better this week.
We gel pretty well. Coach does a good job in practice, mixing it up and rotating a bunch of different guys. That way, if somebody does go down in a game, that we are able to adjust and gel like that in games.
Putting it all back together. We had a tough loss last week, and we're really banding together, coming back together like we were during fall camp, and we're going to make it happen this week. So,
Coach, something you really talked about at Media Day back before the fall started, before the season started, was the offensive line. What was your first impression of them going into the season?
Well, it's really an impression that changed a little bit as a result of some injuries and the fact that we thought that was going to be one of our most experienced groups and deepest groups. And what happened, over the course of the first 5 weeks, is we picked up a number of injuries. Tyler Bodie, we expected to be regular for us, ended up not playing a snap for us this year due to injury, and as a result, some younger guys crept into the mix, and that group had to kind of re-solidify, which I think we did over weeks 4, 5, 6, and then unfortunately a couple more injuries occurred that forced us to play some even younger guys in that group. So hopefully we can get regrouped here for the last 2 weeks and get that group re-solidified.
Have you really assessed those newcomers that really weren't expecting, playing time, as you mentioned, and kind of had to come in at a really tough Missouri Valley schedule?
It's hard to play true freshmen. We played 2 freshmen substantially on Saturday, and Drew Wagner and Nick Kaltmeyer. They're both going to be very, very good players, probably playing a little bit before their time. Another guy, Tom Kirsch, who had been playing a lot as a redshirt freshman and hurt, and now kind of getting back into the mix. Guys that we thought, were going to be good players in the future, but now the future is here.
Let's take our last break of the show, but stay tuned, as up next, Coach and I will preview this weekend's matchup at Indiana State.
I chose Western because it reminded me of home and for its outstanding forensic chemistry program. My classes and academic experiences give me the knowledge I'll need for my career. The programs at Western teach me to lead and contribute to my community. I know my choice is the beginning of my success story. Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back. It's time to check in on how the Missouri Valley football teams performed last weekend. And there were some good games on tap, some really close games as well, especially keep an eye on Illinois State falling to South Dakota State 25-20. Both teams now with a 7-2 record atop the conference with North Dakota State. Should be interesting to see how that one plays out. And then South Dakota creeping up to 5-4. They squeak out another field goal victory, hosting SIU 34-31. And now at the games to look forward to this weekend in the MVFC Week 11 edition. North Dakota State, as I mentioned, 7-2, taking on Bo Pelini's Youngstown State Penguins, with really playoffs starting to get on the line. Same thing for the South Dakota battle, big rivalry game. Now, sure to get a lot of people there. The Jackrabbits going to the Dakota Dome to take on the Coyotes of South Dakota. Some games to really keep an eye on. Obviously, with Westerns this weekend too. Western will look to rebound in Terre Haute at Indiana State against the Sycamores. They're a tough team to read, sometimes losing last week to Northern Iowa, a team Western beat 59-13. That's a score that the Sycamores lost by. And what kind of, obviously you expect a good battle from the Sycamores, but they have been a tad inconsistent of late.
They've won some close games and they've had some tough losses, like very similar year to what we've had. a team that's got a lot of offensive firepower, a team that's got a great deal of experience on defense. They're a very good football team. They do a lot of what I call unique things. A lot of unique offensive things, as well as very multiple on defense. Will be a great challenge for us.
Last year, a big win for the Leathernecks on Senior Day, and why were you able to come out really with a win for the seniors against Indiana State last year? What were kind of the big keys to that game?
Honestly, I thought it was one of our best games of the year. I thought we put together a complete performance, played really well on defense, forced turnovers, generated field position, and executed well on offense. We put pressure on the quarterback, which is one of the key things that we have to do this year against them. And the other thing we did very well defensively is we were able to stop up the run and make them one-dimensional. So we need a similar game plan, similar way of executing, and then be able to make some big plays offensively to create points.
Offensively for Indiana State, they have Robert Tanyan and Gary Owens, two explosive receiving targets. How will the W secondary be ready to attack that challenge?
Well, it starts with putting pressure on the quarterback. At the same time, what we need to do is need to be multiple in our coverages and give the quarterback different looks. Tanyan's a big receiver, 6'4", 6'5", guy that will out-jump you for the football, where Owens is a guy with speed, and so we need to do well from a standpoint of mixing up coverages and making things multiple for them.
Kickoff at Memorial Stadium in Terre Haute is set for 12:05 this weekend. For Coach Nielsen, I'm Danny Fry. Thanks again for watching.